Alright, I am back with another Destiny 2 video. Obviously, that's going to be about the TWAB. We have some art here of Titan as seen through a screen. I don't really know what the effect is here, some sort of monitor or something. But this is supposed to be a pretty substantive TWAB. Some of this may be a recap of stuff they've already talked about, given that this is the last TWAB before Season of the Deep, so they might kind of be going through everything. I am not going to go through this list. I already wrote kind of a abridged version of this about all the different stuff that's coming, and I've gone through essentially each of these separately. Just the categories, economy stuff. My favorite thing there is Matter Weaves and Rainmakers going away. You don't need legendary shards for crafting. I forgot about that. Weapon sandbox, we know. Abilities, a lot of super buffs, exotic armor buffs, and exotic weapon buffs for yesterday. And then quality of life improvements. Oh, they have this under that instead. Crucible updates, a lot of trials stuff they're changing there. But that is all the recap, and they are going to actually show us videos of the new Strand aspects today. They already kind of laid out what these ones do. This is, but now we get to see it on video. This is Hunter, Threat Inspector. Activate your class ability to leave a decoy woven from Strand matter that draws the attention of nearby combatants. After taking significant damage or when combatants approach, the decoy detonates, dealing damage and releasing threadlings that seek out and attack nearby foes. All right. Very curious to see what this scarecrow thing is. It reminds me of like it's almost like a bombardier thing, except it draws fire. Like that's kind of what it reminds me of. It's like you're leaving behind a little grenade, except it's class ability and you don't need an exotic to do it. So, or it's an aspect and you don't need an exotic to do it. So, I think that's pretty cool. I like that. Alright, now we have Titan Flechette Storm. While sliding, activate your charge melee ability to leap into the air, knocking nearby targets away and dealing damage. While airborne, activate your charge melee again to launch a cluster of damaging, unraveling projectiles. Repeatedly activating melee will chain additional throws. Okay. Whack a bunch of enemies with damaging projectiles. So that is essentially a mini Warlock super. That's kind of what it reminds me of. That's what it sounded like. It's different than the other charge melees in that you stay airborne and then you shoot a bunch of projectiles, so it's not exactly like what we've seen from kind of other sliding melees, but be it the Hunter Arc one or the Titan Stasis one that is, or they had a solar one too, right? I never used that one. But they now have a Strand one, and that actually looks kind of better than the other sliding ones. I don't know if I'll use it, given the other aspects, but I guess we'll see. The Wanderer, tangles you throw attached to enemies and detonate into a suspending burst. Threadling final blows create a tangle. That will be good because all of the tangle creating, or the tangle buffs are going away, so you want to create enough tangles to make them worthwhile. I don't know how good tangles are going to be once the suspending and damage range buffs go away. I guess we'll find out. I think it's going to be kind of disappointing considering we've kind of come to expect how detonating tangles feel, and it won't be like that anymore. So maybe that's confident for Warlock. It's like a worse version of the aspects now. It's a smaller radius, and then you have to stick the enemy instead of just shooting the tangle by the enemy. I don't think that one's very good, honestly. I guess threading final blows create a tangle is something, considering how many threadlings you're going to spawn, but yeah, I don't know. Compared to the others, I don't think that seems very good. Alright, the refundable artifact is almost here. Are you ready to wield your new NPA repulsor regulator? Alright, I guess that's the artifact. It is. Treat it well. The Drifter might use you as bait. Oh, is this a Drifter season? Is Drifter going to be in this narrating or something? That's awesome. Remember, the seasonal artifact has changed a bit recently, with Lightfall mods from the artifact change into perks that are always on. When unlocked, and you don't have to slot them into your armor pieces. Starting with Season of the Deep, another change is coming. You'll have the option to refund perks from the artifact individually, one by one, so adapting to each activity and crafting the most focused build will be faster and easier than before. In order to make the most of building amazing builds, you need to know the perks. That's an easy fix. So yeah, they've done this thing now where they're going through and listing all the artifact perks early, which is good. They told us that they were doing this before, so you can manually uncheck boxes and then go back and do them rather than resetting your entire artifact. So I think that's good. I'm a little curious how that works with like the sliding scale of like you need X amount to progress the thing forward. Are they getting rid of that? Because I don't. Maybe you still have to go backwards, but you can start with the later ones and kind of work your way back. But if you were changing like your barrier mods, you would have to go all the way back. That reminds me of the Diablo 4 system that we saw in the beta. All right, column 1. So we have anti-barrier auto rifle this time, unstoppable hand cannon, which hopefully will not be bugged this time, overload scout rifle, so not. We've had anti-barrier scout and unstoppable scout. If we've had overload scout, it does not seem very common. Overload trace rifle, a few divinity has intrinsic overload. Doesn't one of the other ones have intrinsic overload now? Does Rune Savagey? I don't remember. I thought one other one did. And unstoppable glaive. Wait, is that yeah? So we had unstoppable glaive this season, so they're just doing it again, which I really liked unstoppable glaive, so I'm glad about that. Column 2, authorized mods, arc. Okay, so discounted arc mods, discounted void mods, discounted strand mods, discounted melee mods. Technicolor Siphon grants access to helmet armor mods that combine the effects of strand and arc. Okay, so interesting. I thought this was going to be like a Stasis season, because Stasis has been kind of underloved, shall we say, but that is not in the mod list, so I assume it is not going to be getting mods in these later columns either. So I guess let's see. Improved unraveling, so we're just doing more strand buffs. Okay. Increase the amount of damage dealt by unraveling a target. I'd say I understand unraveling the least out of all the subclass 3.0 effects. I still don't quite get what it does. Like, you infect something with it, and then you shoot it, and it does damage to things around it, but also the enemy itself. I don't really know what unraveling does after an entire season of Strand. Deeper origins greatly improves the benefit. It's provided by unstated hunger, nanotic tracer, harmonic resonance, and noble deeds traits. I think we can safely assume that, or wait, I don't know what the raid perk is, so from last season. So unsated hunger, I'm assuming that this is this season's seasonal thing. Harmonic resonance, I don't know. I'm losing track of all these, but there is going to be a dungeon, and the dungeon doesn't have its own, I don't think, because like the Spire dungeon had the Tex Mechanica bonus. It wasn't like a dungeon specific one, so I don't think that's what's happening. Okay, onto the breach. Defeating a void debuff targets. Defeating void debuff targets. There's a typo. Creates a void breach while your void subclass is equipped. So that is a way to create more breaches. Electric armor. Stay amplified longer while your arc subclass is equipped. Thunderous retort. Grants bonus arc super damage if cast while critically wounded or while amplified. Lasts until the end of super activation. I feel like they always use this, but like I just don't really love that one. Okay, so we have strand stuff, void stuff, and arc stuff. That is the theme of the season, I guess. Column 4, Strand Soldier. Your strand weapons gain unraveling rounds whenever you gain woven mail while your strand subclass is equipped. This is different than it was just wrap less, or this season it was just get unraveling rounds if you get rapid strand weapon kills. So this is a little bit harder, I think, to activate. I mean, granted, some classes can get woven mail really easily, but others not so much. There's the one fragment that just gives you woven mail when you pick up an orb. Is that right? I think that's for everyone. Overcharge Armory. Okay, so this is just the one where these weapons will be overcharged. I keep forgetting overcharge is like a thing. Protective Breach. Picking up a Void Breach gives you an overshield or refreshes your existing overshield. That sounds pretty good. Alright, seems like a heavy Void season. Countercharge. Gain a stack of armor charge when you stun a champion. Alright. Amped up, gain damage resistance while amplified. That sounds good. I wish we had percentages. Like, is this 10%? Is this 40%? I would like to know how much that actually is. Conductive Cosmic Needle. These are usually the fun ones. Targets affected by Strand debuffs take increased damage from Arc and Void abilities. What? So, this is more of a fire team thing? Because most of your Strand debuffs are going to be coming from your subclass. Like, almost all of those. Because, like, the only, well, at least so far, the only Strand perk, like, literally on weapons is Hatchling. So, I guess you can create Tangles with, like, Quicksilver Storm, but those don't debuff, they just blow things up. So I feel like this has to be like a fire team thing where you will synergize with your fire team if they're using these subclasses and you're on Strand. I don't think you can do this very effectively on your own unless I am missing something important. Shock and Awe. Arc Final Blows where you're amplified summon a burst of lightning that damages and jolts targets. Oh, that sounds good. Okay. Any Arc Final Blows, so that's abilities and weapons, when you are amplified, and I mean, when are you not amplified, really, in combat for arc builds? So you summon a burst of light. What is that? Where is the burst of lightning going? Like, is it coming from your body? Is it striking them like a Thunderlord bolt? Anyway, that sounds really good. Supernova. Picking up a Void Breach causes your next source of Void damage to create a large weakening pulse. That also sounds really good. Okay, so I think Arc and Void are going to be very, very strong based on just these two. We'll see what the last two are. Squad goals. Performing a finisher where you're amplified grants amplified to nearby allies when your Arc subclass is equipped. Does that mean even if they're not on Arc? That's kind of interesting. I don't really know what amplified will do other than the speed bonus when your friends are amplified. Pouring a finisher when you have Woven Mail grants Woven Mail to nearby allies when you have Strand on. That is good. That's better. Pouring a finisher when you have Devour grants Devour nearby allies. Okay. So these two are good. This one doesn't seem very good because the only real reason to be amplified is because it synergizes with a bunch of other arc stuff. Otherwise, it's just like fast running and jumps that are too high. So these two seem a lot better. Still, I don't know if these are all the class item ones and you have to pick between them. This doesn't sound like the best one, honestly. I mean, there are some builds where you can get constant Devour, and if you could just give your teammates Devour like all the time, and this is a finisher on anything. This is not a finisher on a champion, and it doesn't cost super energy. It's just performing a finisher. So that's, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that could be really good, especially on Devour. I think that's the biggest one. Because Devour, you can just chain over and over and over again to keep it going, whereas Woven Mail, you can't do that, or Amplified if you're not on Arc. Lightning Strikes twice, old favorite. After throwing an Arc Grenade, gain increased grenade recharge for a short time. Arc Final Blows extend the duration of this benefit. The famous Arc Titan Thunderstorm Grenade were the season that just destroyed everything. With all these other Arc buffs, though, I feel like there's going to be a lot of people running Arc subclasses. I'm very excited to do Arc Warlock they did have a third exotic now that they just buffed, didn't they? But even with just Geomags and Crown of Tempest, I'm very excited for that. Okay, so I think Arc is going to be the play based on all these. Void also does sound good. Void Breach is giving overshields. Void debuff targets creating a Void Breach. So get out your destabilizing rounds crap because that is going to be very good. And yeah, I think Arc and Void. I know there's some Strand stuff in here, but it's definitely an Arc and Void season, and you can lean toward whichever one you want. No Stasis love. Now we're going another season with no Stasis, so too bad for Stasis. Alright, so updates to enemy elemental shields. We have one more update coming with Season of the Deep, one we haven't mentioned until today. We are changing how enemy shields look. Interesting. I'll tell you about it. Here's the Destiny 2 combat team. Over the past few years, the Destiny dev team has introduced numerous changes to the core game experience as we've overhauled internal systems, as well as endeavored to make the game more accessible to our audience. The change we are about to talk about touches on both of these topics. With the launch of Season of the Deep, we're going to introduce a change to most combatant shields that will update their visuals across the entire game. This update had the explicit goal of not affecting Destiny's existing gameplay, so it's a visual-only change. This is how shields are now. Yep, that's a shield. Right next to my favorite Lost Sector. Okay, we know what shields look like. Cool. Shields now look like this. Oh, what? It's so weird. What? I mean... I don't know. So wait, what happens when you like synergize break it? Does it still blow up? Is he gonna shoot this? Okay, wait, so it just like deactivated. I don't know. So it's not these little cylinder things anymore, it's more like an oval portal shape. Given that the majority of the shields have been in service since 2017, the number of bespoke combatant shields has become more difficult to maintain as we've significantly expanded the number of enemy combatants in the game. To address the challenge, we made a large back-end shift to a new shield system that will be easier to maintain and improve upon, which brings us to our next point, accessibility. When we decided to overhaul this system, we took the opportunity to create visuals that are more accessible for colorblind players and players with other visual impairments. As such, we've minimized visual information that is not relevant to gameplay in favor of bringing to the foreground more combat-relevant details. This primarily takes form in more clearly surfacing the unit's shield element. Right now, the color of combatant shields are the only way to tell what the optimal element counter is. In the new system launching the Season of the Deep, we've included more visual artifacts with each shield type to indicate to players which type of elemental weapons are best to use. As a final note, we note that immunity shields and shields for specific boss encounters will not be receiving the update. They are slightly more complicated. We'll avoid making any broad changes which could unintentionally impact counter mechanics design. Okay, so the idea is like because it's a void shield, it does this like little void shimmer thing. But I guess we don't know what the other ones look like. I'm assuming Arc will have like some little lightning crackles or something. You can see the little like swirls and stuff. Fire or solar will have like little fire things. Nothing has Stasis shields, and almost nothing has Strand shields. Although I'm sure Strand gets its own effect too. I'm colorblind, but not colorblind enough where I can't see shield color. But for people who can't, that is a good change. Stabilizing. Oh boy. All right. A note from the engineering team. As part of the work to prepare for Lightfall, we embarked on a large technical upgrade to improve our Destiny 2 services and hardware. This work included updating our services to use new technologies, as well as prepare for hardware upgrades. Hardware upgrades. PlayStation 6. Okay. In the long run, this investment in the back end of Destiny 2 should lead to a more stable, more reliable experience for all players, and faster recovery in instances where service downtime does occur. The launch of Lightfall was a great example of this, with high stability and uptime for both launch day and the Root of Nightmares World First Race. However, as millions of players have interacted with these services, we have discovered some issues that we are working on addressing. A prime example of this is our background service update system. Typically, several days before one of our Tuesday updates, we will stage the update on our servers. This upgrades our backend services to the new version and means that during Tuesday's patch, we only take a brief amount of downtime before letting players back into the game. However, with our new libraries and code, we've discovered cases where the background update has put our services into a bad state, forcing us to bring Destiny 2 offline for extended maintenance. So what are we doing about this? We have a team focused on making corrections to our new services so that we can safely perform background updates again. However, while we do that work, we want to make sure Destiny 2's experience is predictable as possible. Therefore, starting the Season of the Deep's launch, we are moving to a scheduled downtime model where we bring Destiny 2 offline for an expected 1.5 hours on our update days. Oh man, okay. This will allow us to do our staging and roll out the same day, and should make the experience more stable and reliable. In the meantime, we will continue to monitor performance, upgrade hardware, increase service reliability, and work to give you a great experience each time you play the game. Okay, big question. Is this delaying it from 1 p.m. Eastern to 2:30 p.m. Eastern, or is this going to be like the game goes offline at 11:30 p.m. Eastern and reset is still 1 p.m.? Really hope it's that second one, because I really do not like late resets based on my own schedule. I think I'm going to tweet about that and see if anyone has an answer. Guardian games are coming to an end. Titans won. Yeah, Titans won. No surprise there. top 4 teams raising money. Someone got disqualified for this, I saw online. Introducing Asians at Bungie. They are doing another one of their at Bungie diversity groups. So that's cool. That's a really cool pin. That's a really cool emblem. I really like that a lot, actually. So you can get these if you read this stuff here. Yeah, okay. So you can get the pin with a $10 donation. The Harmonic Waves emblem will be available without a pin purchase starting May 23rd directly through the Bungie Foundation. And you can buy the pin otherwise before that also. A new emblem for gifting Twitch subs. Okay, so this is a good motivator to, let's say, Twitch subscription bounty on their favorite content creators channel. So you can get this emblem, which I don't love it. I don't know. It's fine. Player support, patch language change. And this is actually, okay, previously our seasonal launch and mid-season patches are called updates, and any patch between these two major releases were called hotfixes. We were also update some parts of the game outside of these planned maintenance vehicles. These updates haven't had names and were only announced via Bungie help. Moving forward, any planned maintenance patch will be called an update. These will be communicated ahead of time. As usual, or require players to download a new patch, it will change the game's version number. Any unplanned maintenance patch will be called a hotfix. We will still be announcing hotfixes. Our goal is to prioritize local patch notes on Bungie.net. I don't quite know what changed here. Okay, that sounded like it could be relevant to me, but okay. All right, next Tuesday, May 23rd. Here's the update. Okay, all times in Pacific. Oh, so this is the thing. Okay, so this is 1 p.m. No, wait. Okay, this is 1 p.m. So normal launch time, and then it's being brought offline, I guess in this instance, an hour and 45 minutes beforehand. So I don't care. I'm not playing right before reset anyway. I know some people are like trying to squeeze in trials matches or whatever, but okay, as long as reset starts at the same time, I don't care. That's fine. Bungie rewards, last chance for this stuff. Previous season pass and vendor rewards, claim all that stuff. I'm probably just going to let a bunch of engrams to rot because I'm too lazy to claim them all. I wish there was just a way you could just mass convert them into legendary shards without having to click through and everything go to the postmaster and dismantle everything. Ugh, I don't care. Okay, known issues. There was not an actual known issue list. There was only one known issue in the game. The Guardian Games title champ does not progress Guardian rank objectives for earning titles. That's the only issue with the game. Perfect. Great. We're in a great state. Okay. Art of the week. Oh, that's cool. Bonus art of the week. I gotta use that. Okay. Week before Season of the Deep. Don't forget us to finish those seasonal challenges. Unlock one more ornament of your ritual weapon, or get one last Tarixipos roll. Because I'm so busy, I have not gotten any of the god rolls I wanted on Tarixipos. I really wanted the gut shot explosive one, and I did not get that. I only played the first week of Guardian Games because I've had too much stuff going on and I was traveling. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, some interesting updates here. I'm excited about the artifact next season. I think that sounds cool to go back to. I really liked the Season of the Plunder arc season. Obviously, Season of the Plunder itself was lacking, but I really enjoyed how Arc 3.0 felt. And like, I know it's not really the strongest 3.0 subclass in general on most classes, but there's a lot of buffs coming. They're rebuffing Chaos Reach, which used to be like my favorite super. So I'm pretty excited to try that out, especially with some of these new abilities here and some of the old ones. So I think this is promising. I'm looking forward to that. And these aspects, 2 of the 3 look like winners. I don't know what the Warlock one, but whatever. All right. That is it for now. I don't know. I'm not going to say Friday reset will bring some sort of cutscene or something. I don't think that'll happen, but we will see. And yeah, I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.